Well, here's a guy on YouTube that I watch a lot, watch all his videos. He does reviews on cameras and stuff like that, mainly that I watch, and you know, I've bought a few cameras that he's reviewed and explains them very well. I have great respect for him. I was quite surprised the other day that I saw this video, and I'll just play it to you.
But by the fact it runs on actual current UK coins, it's probably legal in some way. So anyway, I'll show you the machine now, and I just want to show you a couple of things about it. Okay, so as we look at it, you can see it's an absolutely gorgeous machine. Hard to believe that there were rows of these things at one point.
Right, well there you are. There, he's got himself a Copper Indian's head, Jennings, one-arm bandit. Why I was surprised was because, you know, I sort of shared an interest with this guy on cameras and things, and I say great respect for his reviews on cameras and stuff, and I didn't realize he actually had a love for one-arm bandits. Well, I bought my first Jennings Copper Indian's head in 1969, I think it was, and I think we're going to have a look at it now. Well, here's my Copper Indian's head. Now, it's been sitting here for, actually I probably haven't looked at this for about 8 or 9 years, sitting up here in the loft, and it probably needs a bit of a clean up. It does have a light in it. You can plug it in, and this lights up here, but it hasn't got the big top in that top bit that Techman's got. Let's have a look. Plug it in and see if it works here. Yeah, well, there is a light coming on. Yep, there we go. Now I do think that it does work, but I think because it's been sitting up in the loft, it's got damp, it's seized up a bit, because though it starts to work, it's not spinning. So I need to get the back off of that. Actually, I need to find the keys and get the back off and sort that out a bit. But there's my Copper Indian's head, I think, with a bit of a clean up. That would probably be a good machine. I've had this now for, I think I bought it in 1969, so I paid £60 for it. So there we go. I've had that for 45, 46 years. Have a look at the others now. This is my old 1920s one-arm bandit, and it's got a bit of provenance, though I can't substantiate it now, unfortunately. But anyway, as I say, it's a 1920s machine, and it's in full working order. Well, at least it seems to be. So look. Ah, there we go. Something came out. Beautiful pattern on this, as you can see, and it's got the original bit of plastic covering it to protect it, and it's got the original printed instructions of what you can win on it. There is no jackpot. The coins aren't coming into the jackpot here because it was not set up to pay out a jackpot. It was set to pay out candy or mints, which were originally in these areas here. And when you won, you turn this handle and it would allow one of these rolls of mints to drop out. Piece of glass there that's actually missing. I need to replace that. This was in the days when gambling was not allowed. But the machine itself is, say, from the 20s. And belonged to my father, and he had it for about 40 years. There we are, there's the mechanism. Have a look and see if that works. Take this away. there's some original instructions there. As I say, my father had it for about 40 years, and he'd bought it from Las Vegas or somewhere, but apparently the story was, and he'd had a letter of provenance, which have now unfortunately been lost, that it had belonged to a club that was owned by Al Capone. Now, whether there's any truth in that, who knows? But it's certainly an old machine. It's unrestored, obviously. It's in its original condition, and it still works really well. So. See the old butterfly there. Now all these mechanisms are all the same. They're all very similar. All the machines. There you are, paid out. And there's the coin box here. These are all 10 cents, which is why a lot of the machines were using 20p's, I think, and pennies, because they were the same size. My Copper Indian head one has pennies, which is the same sort of size as these 10 cents. So there we are. That's that old machine, which my dad had in Canada for about 40 years, and then when he died, I brought it over to England. I had to have it shipped over by sea, so heavy, with a load of other stuff. But there you go, it's a nice machine. And then over here, we've got my Wurlitzer. This is a Wurlitzer jukebox. Now, I've had this for, the jukebox was made in 1960. It's a 1960 model. And I bought it in 1970. So it was only 10 years old actually when I bought it. But this is exactly how I bought it. I've never had it restored, never had to repair it. And it came out of a club in Brighton. And at the time, I remember, I've still got a receipt, I paid £80 for it. The values of these things have gone up and come down. I mean, there was a time when you could probably get £5,000 or £6,000 for it. Now, who knows? Maybe you might get 1,000, 1,200 quid for it. But this is an original condition. The mechanism is very dusty though, and I haven't cleaned it for years. I never do anything to it, and though it does work, let's turn it on. Because it is so dusty though, the turntable slips a bit. It needs servicing. I think the belts actually need tightening, or they're a bit slack. And of course you can adjust the sound, but the sound's been turned down, and it's not so good with the sound turned down. Slipping, you see.
Dearest darling, I had the right to say that I won't be home anymore, for something happened to me while I was driving home.
So I've had this jukebox for 45 years. And I've lugged it around from place to place wherever I've lived. Never restored it, as I say, never done anything to it really. I did used to use it a lot back in the 80s. They were fashionable then, and you could put a whole load of coins in and load it up with 20, 30 plays, and it would just play for an hour or something. Really, really nice to have at a party. And if you had the volume turned up, it's got a remote control that used to, in the clubs and coffee bars, the control used to be behind the counter or something, so the owners could turn the sound up and down. or reject a song actually, or whatever, if they wanted to stop it. But as I say, if it was serviced and cleaned, and I've got some new needles here for it that I could put in, and I'm sure that it would play almost as good as new. Yeah, very nice. What do you think?